Mr. Gum, just sum up yesterday's activities on day one.
Good morning, good afternoon. Sorry. Uh, Thanks for the time. Yesterday, I think was a very exciting day. It was a very interesting day with very interesting duels, where we saw a few upsets of the so-called smaller teams, beating up or holding up the the so-called big guns. So it was a great day in terms of the results, in terms of the football. I think we managed to complete our fixture. Only one game that we couldn't complete because of a player that got injured. And we had to take a decision that we'd rather finish the second half of the game afterwards. But beyond that, I think they were very good and positive. So it was nice to see the team so enthusiastic and the youngsters looking forward to the games. It was a jet-packed day.
Yeah, I've seen that myself with the coaches. Very exciting, and it's good to see youngsters from boys to girls doing very well. I mean, we've come to a disappointment today. Some of us were looking forward to covering day two, and we summed up day one. It was very nice, and the crowd enjoyed themselves. Beyond your control or the LOC, I mean, this is Mother Nature now.
Yeah, look, just to finalize, also touching up on yesterday, I think there was just one unfortunate incident where I think later in the day, the winds or the weather started changing, and unfortunately the pole got blown by the wind, and it brushed off a player. I think Magic, the team is Magic. And I just want to say that we truly apologize for that, including the player from Beautiful Gate who got injured in terms of the broken leg, and hopefully they are recovering quite well. I did manage to go to the hospital to see the player of Beautiful Gates. He's back home. I think he's going back on Thursday for further observations. So I'm hoping that they are well, for the future. But going to today, it's very unfortunate, in the sense that we were already wrapping up day one. Usually day one, there's quite a few issues, the nags here and there, and on day two it usually flies. And you must remember, on day two, that's when we start going to the knockout stage, and it becomes a very interesting and a warm day in terms of the competition. But unfortunately, even in terms of the SAFA football policies and rules, we've got a rule that says that a game can only be stopped if the weather conditions don't allow. And today the weather was not conducive, but most importantly, I think the field, because it was raining, even during the weekend and the past week, it could not take, I think, the beating. So there were a few floods around the pitches, and that made it very, very difficult. And from our side, we had to take safety, before anything else. I think for us, the safety of the players was more important, and making sure that we play in an environment, that is conducive for competitive football. And that's why we had to take that decision. We made the decision in conjunction with the LOC and with the SAFA officials. The match officials were here, and we made the decision that we should rather, call it off. And I must confirm once again that the games have been called off for today and for tomorrow, so which means we've made the postponement to the tournament, and we'll communicate in due time, when we will resume the program.
Such a disappointment, but it's something that is beyond everyone's control. And you've touched on some of the injuries that occurred yesterday, and I think it was a build-up to the weather that we've experienced today. So is there going to be any follow-ups on those injured players, any updates that you will go? But I know you said you went to the hospital as well.
Yeah, the one player from a Beautiful Gate in the boys section did, I think he got a broken leg. We went there yesterday at the hospital, and we were there to observe, and we spoke to the family. And then the second player from Magic, we did touch base with the family and just to establish how the girl was doing, and we got feedback that she's well. But we will definitely keep in touch out if everything is okay and what kind of support we can give to the families. Because in situations like this, I think it's very important that the child, gets all the necessary support from all of us, so that they understand that it's football, it's part of the game. Sometimes these mishaps do happen, but we are also around to support them.
Are you happy with the response time, risk management wise for both incidents?
I am happy because we did have the medical service on the field, that was quite responsive at the time. And the first incident, because it didn't warrant an ambulance, so the parent decided to take the child to the hospital for further observation. But the second incident, because it was a broken leg, we had to make sure that the ambulance takes the boy to the hospital. That's why then we had to make a follow-up also on that, because it was a more severe injury. Then I was there personally myself, and I spoke to the father, I spoke to the mother. We also spoke to the coach of the team who we got them at the hospital. And I think for now, everything in terms of the situation is calm. As I mentioned, he will be back in the hospital on Thursday for further observation on the leg.
We are disappointed, so when can we look forward to the next games? When will the announcement be made?
The LOC sits tomorrow. We've made a decision that we must be quick in terms of trying to, communicate with people or plan the way forward. So we will be sitting tomorrow, to chart a way forward. But I think in a situation like this one, we have to engage all the stakeholders. The sponsor, Engine, must give a proper report back. The marketing company, MSC. We also, as a club, obviously have to, make the necessary preparations of making a decision. Whichever day we will take, how conducive it will be. Remember, at this point in time in the SAFA calendar, it's quite congested. There's a Coke tournament currently running. There's the Dennis Goldberg currently running. The leagues are currently running. So we have to try and maneuver the space that is going to be very much feasible for all of us. And that requires us then to not rush into making a decision, because at the end of the day, we still want to make, the best tournament out of it. No, thank you so much. And I think to everyone, I just want to say thank you for your understanding. And I also think you share the same sentiments that we have to prioritize safety above everything else. But we'll definitely keep you posted about all the developments relating to the tournament and way forward.